Welcome back to GG No Read. This is going to be another one in the new format where I use the actual play more as a springboard to talk about more general issues in role-playing games, well, especially fantasy adventure role-playing games like D&D. And we'll cut in bits of the actual play into this, but that's not going to be the point of it. The point is to talk about things that are more general so the people who don't like actual play can get something from this. We'll see how this works out. We might go back to putting up actual plays, or we might stay with this format. We'll see. This is going to be a pretty short one, but I've got some good takeaways here. This episode, we'll give a brief recap of what happened last time. I'll talk about how to reuse thematic elements from your campaigns. If you're like me, you do multiple campaigns, sometimes simultaneously, sometimes sequentially. We'll talk about how having a developed lore behind your game's setting can infuse it with play complexity that you normally don't get except from games that have a heavy directorial influence like Dark Souls. We're also going to see how saving images like on a service like Pinterest can help you populate your setting, minimaps, and bards redux. Anyone who's listened to this podcast for a while will know that I hate bards as typically given in RPG games, but there's a way I can use them as NPCs and perhaps even PCs that I not only tolerate, but enjoy. So listen in for that, and let's get to a brief recap of what happened at the end of last time. So they found a tower in the middle of the woods, surrounded by a lake. They heard a bard at a tavern sing about a similar tower. They believe it's the same one, the Tower of the Blue Maiden.
Does she live in a lake?
Are you about to make the same joke as you did last time?
What did I make last time?
About the lady in the lady of the lake.
Last time?
Yeah, you already made this joke.
I don't recall.
He's not making a joke. Tim doesn't make jokes, doesn't make japes.
I think he does. He did.
He's not frivolous.
You also made a reference to Monty Python with it.
No, I wanted to find the Zephyr Blade.
No, they mentioned the watery tart, but I don't know if that was in reference to Lady.
Nope, I am here for the Zephyr Blade.
Proceed.
They found the lake, in the middle of which is an island, in the middle of which is a blue tower.
A blue tower?
A blue tower. The tower, the stone that makes up the ruined edifice is a faint shade of blue, even to this day. The upper levels of the tower are crumbling. However, the base of the tower, up to about 30 feet, still stands strong. You circled around the beach, or the shore of the lake, and have seen the entry. And we cut off last time. I don't know if I described this particular bit, but you can see that, I think it's getting to be early afternoon, say about 3 o'clock, something like that, mid-afternoon. And you can see that there is a bonfire in front of the tower, like where the steps go up to the door. And there's a figure sitting at the bonfire, but it's too far away to make out anything about him, other than he seems to be in shining armor. And he is unmoving.
Is this Dark Souls?
No, but could be. Just before this, and even afterward, I fell victim to one of my common RPG vices, which is out of my love for the verbal medium that is D&D and tabletop RPGs in general. I sometimes neglect the visual medium that it is secondarily. So in an instance in which I could convey information more easily through writing down a mini-map, for instance, that's just temporary. I don't have to make it beforehand. I simply sketch out on the dry erase board what the players would see, or write it with pencil on a note card. In situations where I could easily do that to resolve confusion and eliminate 1 minute of crosstalk, I will sometimes persist doggedly in describing it verbally and asking questions, and them asking questions back to me. It's not good, and it's boring to listen to, so I'm not going to cut in that bit. So they were describing how they went around the shore of the lake to try to see what was on the island. And then once they got a boat, they were attempting to get to the other side of a river that emptied out into the lake. And I could have saved so much time just by scribbling a mini-map. I'm going to have to remember that for next time. The reason that I tend to err on this side is that I want things to have verisimilitude. So I don't want to take away the imaginative experience that one has to have when playing games. I want primarily players to be experiencing these physical locations in their imagination rather than by looking at a top-down scribbled map. However, the trade-off is that sometimes there's just too much information to present in that way. So, as a middle ground, perhaps we can say that it's best when you're scribbling down a mini-map like this to keep it as uninteresting as possible. you want purely to convey the information without adornment. For any adornment or extra sensory features, you want the players to have recourse to imagination rather than to vision. That's my little mini manifesto. You're welcome. After much deliberation, the party decides to cross the lake, but they don't have a boat. So Ace's character, a thief, decides to swim it. So he swims across and immediately approaches the figure they had seen near the tower. It's a blue knight that he finds out is 9 feet tall, sitting in front of a bonfire, almost unmoving. But when he attempts to go into the tower, the knight prevents him from crossing the threshold that is his body and interrogates him about his intentions. Essentially, he finds out that the knight is a protector, which they had surmised beforehand, and that he wasn't welcome because he didn't present the right attitude and perhaps intent in order to access the tower. And they don't even know really why they should go into the tower right now. It's just there, and I suppose, it's D&D. Let's go into towers. I mean, it makes sense. There could be treasure in there. Who knows? But after this, Asa decided not to press his luck. Smart move, I suppose. And swims back across, and the party, with little information, decides to head back for the night, to go back to the village of Therion and see what's up for the next day. The day after that, they're having their meeting with the Baron, where they're supposed to go on a hunt for the Lord of the Forest, which is a 27-point buck. That's the crest of the Therion household, and, well, something happens on the way. All right.
Your own bodies and others.
I once chopped a gnome's leg off.
Yeah, mainly his own body. His body count's very high.
I did chop a kid in half, too.
Uh-oh.
What were you rolling for?
He rolled
No,
something.
Daniel, stop to make that face!
He has so much fun with this. What are we seeing?
All right.
Three dragons come falling out of the sky.
Would be the
So
first
you
time I've
guys
seen a dragon.
are...
I know.
John, I want you to roll.
Oh my gosh.
So you'd be in front, right, John?
Or
who would be in
got
front? Would
thieves.
you be in front? You would be in front. You're the
I don't
tracker.
even know what we were doing.
We've also
Y'all are
got,
going back
we got a
to
thief.
town.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like thief.
We got rogue.
Yeah, I'd be in front.
Okay.
I had a map of which way to go.
Okay.
Yeah,
you can
roll
be in front.
me a D20 to see if you get lost. I don't think you will, but it's possible.
Oh,
Seven.
my.
Oh, okay, goodness. I thought it was a 1.
I thought you rolled a 1. I was so mad for a second.
Okay.
You begin to cry.
So you've gone through several clearings that you recall, and roll a D4.
Can I combat his D4 to see if I know where we're going?
No, 1. Perfect. So it's about 5:30. You're in the middle of your trek back out. You've not gotten lost as far as you know. When you see and hear it, you hear it before you can see it. You smell a fragrance. Fragrance be like myrrh.
Would it be like my fragrant torch that I have? Would I know?
Yes.
It would be.
I look around to see if I see a wise man.
You don't. Instead, you see a massive buck
Oh my.
that has come up behind you. It's as far away from you guys as me to you. It's unaccountable how you did not hear it.
Wow.
Approximately
Who
5.5 feet.
Who has a bow?
Nobody move.
Why are we gonna kill it? Why is your first...
Nobody move.
Because that's one of our quests, is to go out
Nobody
hunting
move.
this thing with the Baron.
Stop.
Stop.
Everything.
Completely silent and still.
It has 27 points on its antlers. And it is streaked with blood. And in fact, you know that creature that you saw last time, that sky blue goblin kind of thing?
Mm-hmm.
One of them is impaled across all of its antlers.
Oh, good.
Oh, so it's not his blood.
John, I think it has come to you.
And no, it is wounded. I have
Come
several,
to me.
Several.
You're the religious one.
We're
I
trying
go
to
to church.
Look, he smells like myrrh?
A church boy.
Yes.
Girl.
I mean, yeah. It's obviously him that smells like myrrh.
Yeah, I don't know what your guys' quest is, but I don't want to kill this thing.
When he sees you, I imagine you guys stop unless you want to do something else. That your natural reaction would be to back up from it.
Yeah.
Stumble back. He shakes his head, and the thing flies off, and its entrails trail like ribbons into the forest. And it stomps and snorts and looks at you in the eyes, each in turn. What do?
Go to one knee and bow my head.
Yep, I do the same.
Following suit.
Yeah.
And
sure.
actually, I don't bow my head. I do kneel, but I look up at him, and I get out my flask of spirits and like pour some in my hand and let him to drink from it.
It proceeds closely to you. It looks you in your eyes, and you begin weeping.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It sniffs the libation and then licks it up.
Okay.
Okay.
I pour more. Like I empty my flask.
I'm so moved by its beauty and its power
God, I could go some murder hobo right now.
I just blurt out like what
I want to ride
what
you.
the Baron what the mount. I want to mount him, but that the bear about the intentions of the Baron.
There's some slash fiction coming. For that.
All of you at once hear him speak to you, but it's telepathically. He says, I know of the Baron. I know what his wish is for me. That is not my concern. What I would like from you, children of men, is for you to cleanse my forest of these creatures that have wounded me. Should you do so, I will reward you, as is the custom of my kindred. Until then, I shall be gone, but I will reappear should you do this for me. Your service will be rewarded in a kingly fashion.
I tell him to wait.
Would
Like I say wait, and I say let me look at your wound. I want to look at it and see what exactly it is.
He had
If it's
blood
a clean
on
cut,
him.
like if it's a like
No.
is it the only cut?
It's a ragged gash from one of the crude weapons that the...
Would just like cleaning it with alcohol and suture. Fix
You can
it?
see, you know how like when you put hydrogen peroxide on a wound, it fizzes? His wounds are already doing that.
Like they're already healing themselves.
Yes. And that's the smell that you smell.
Oh, I want to get some of that.
No,
I have
I
a
don't.
rag.
No, I
I
would
would see
hold
if,
you.
if they'll let
No,
me clean his
I
wound.
would. I would hold you back if you attempted to do that.
I want to ask him. I mean, I'm going to ask him.
Okay.
Can I? attempt
As
to
you're
clean his
beginning
wound?
to do this, he begins to walk away and actually vanishes.
gosh, asking if it would be safe to stay here for the
He
night.
Thanos'd out.
Yeah, like, and
He described a threat in the woods. I
Man,
don't
that
think
was
it'd be safe.
it's a beautiful deer.
Yeah,
I need that one from my lodge.
I could figure that son of a bitch sitting right up above my man.
No, that's if we were doing Alabama.
Yeah.
Therion's going to be disappointed, but I don't think we have an option here. We're not going to kill this thing, are we?
We can't kill it.
I never really wanted to kill it to begin with.
But what if
Like,
he's the
here's
baddie?
the thing. I will. He's not the baddie.
Oh,
he
we
can't.
the
He smells like
baddies?
myrrh. Okay.
He can't be bad and smell like myrrh.
It's beautiful.
We killed goblins.
I can't. If anybody tries to kill him while I'm around, I will fight them. Like, and that's no joke. That's Juno's stance.
I will fight you IRL.
Yeah.
I'll stand by Juno on this.
What I loved about that encounter is that it was entirely due to random tables. For this area, I don't want to get too spoilery because my players do listen to this, but I had a random table of at least 12 entries, of which the Lord of the Forest is merely one. So he could or could not have ever appeared in this random situation. Perhaps they can take other measures to find him specifically, but it just so happened, after they had already accepted, at least verbally, a quest to hunt him, and they were leaving, not even intending to do anything else in the forest, they happened to see him. And then the reaction they had to him was fantastic. I loved it. I don't want to go into more depth on this. Maybe later I'll have a recap about season 1 of CCQ, and we'll talk with more spoilers. But right now, like I said, we got to keep things a little on the DL. I really enjoyed their reactions. You could see how the players were all role-playing, but without any incentive to do so. They were simply imagining how they would think their characters would respond to the situation. They were imagining how other characters would respond, like when Mason was thinking about how the Baron would think about this, and how Asa instantly took a drastic turn in his relationship to this creature. Any other game, he would have been a murder hobo toward. But for whatever reason, we'll have to ask Asa about this, he took definitely a respectful attitude toward this creature. They're also getting quests, but the quests are all purely fictional. So they have a quest from the Baron, although there's nowhere on their sheets that say quests, and there's no reward for doing a quest. The quests are all diegetic. They have to decide if their characters would do this based on what their characters want, which they do have written down. So far, I'm thinking the system works okay. The players are doing well. Everybody's humming along. Maybe it's not a well-oiled machine, but there's some oil in there. Anyway, so after this encounter, they get back to town. They get a boat, and the next day they head back out to the forest. And I don't think they had any encounters on the way there. They get to the island, and while they're there, they inspect a statue of a blue maiden. It's the titular blue maiden, the eponymous blue maiden. And they find graffiti written on her. They find a name of a historical character written on her back. It's actually written in a script that only one character in the party knows. So after they get that information, they manage to bring it back and have John's character, Rila the cleric, translate it. And they have some discussion about what this means. It's not terribly interesting radio, but it is satisfying to see players engaging with your lore in ways that they do not know for sure will bring them benefit. I think there's a a twin enjoyment of the possible expectation of benefit and simply a simulationist experience of living in a fictional world and interacting with it. Loving it. They interact again with the Blue Knight, this time with more success, and the Blue Knight seems to simply want some indication that they will treat the lady with the respect she deserves, the maiden within the tower. So one way they can prove this is to risk their lives by defeating the lady's enemies. The enemies include the pale creature that they defeated in the first session, and the other things, the sky blue goblin-like creatures. So we can just call them goblins for now. The DIY hipster D&D police won't get us, I don't think. They now have several people, the Lord of the Forest also wanting them to kill these goblins or exterminate them completely. And then they just need to kill maybe one or two and present the trophies of this to get access to the Maiden's Tower, presuming they don't mess up any etiquette along the way. Later on, as they're exploring further to try to find an encounter, basically, they're trying to find some of these goblins to kill. They hit an encounter area, so it was keyed in my path crawl, that I had populated from a Pinterest board. Pinterest is great for finding images, like for image exploration. So once you save a few pins, it'll try to figure out the kinds of images you like and give you more of those. So mine is a finely tuned machine at this point to give me D&D stuff. And so I have pins, or boards rather, which are collections of images. I have boards for different purposes in D&D. They're all for inspiration. So I've got one for wilderness, one for dungeons, one for caves, towns, characters, monsters, treasure, armor, weapons, weird stuff, like lore items, things that might bear lore. And when you're trying to create content for your game, just pull that up, look at your images, and think how you might slot those images into your existing setting and mythology and lore. That's what I did. And so they encountered this.
My.
And when you proceed a few steps more, you cautiously emerge into a field of mint in this clearing.
Oh no, more mint fields?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make a wicked mojito.
Take a rest
later.
in the midfield.
It's
Back in
as
Alabama.
large as this.
Poppies.
You take a rest in the mint field. Let's see. As you're resting, John, you look up in the sky and the branches of the trees above you, and you see this.
Oh shoot.
Oh my.
You see it. You all see it.
John, can you do something formally religious to try to
Sure, I burned some incense, say some prayers.
communicate, maybe?
It has been just moving with the wind, right? But then it cracks a small little Mona Lisa smile, right? And then from the ground next to you, the mint begins to writhe and move until it forms a feminine shape. It makes a bowl with its hands, and in that bowl, a sweet-smelling liquor begins to form.
Oh, I'm
Sweet.
all about that.
Sweet liquor.
Mint liquor.
I walk up to her
Where's my haiku?
and does this is there anything about this that would make me feel it was related to the Spider Queen at all?
No.
Or any of my religious beliefs at all?
You
Mint, is it a normal sign of any of the saints or anything like that?
It is the sign of, well, it depends on what tradition you're in.
Give
But you would not see this as hostile. You would either see this as like angelic. Some might think of this as a manifestation of another god. But you might think of it more as an angel, this divine entity. And you would think that this servant is probably, or this creature, or whatever is happening here, is some manifestation like a fae kind of thing associated with her.
So if I were to approach and drink out of the hand,
Giva hit
He'd be
the deck
behind me
and
because I'd
is
be doing it first.
Giva hit the deck and is intensely pondering. That's my moment.
Okay, and you're gonna go up and drink?
I'm gonna go up and see if
do you use your hands to drink or do you use your mouth?
I'm gonna try to drink out of her hand.
Okay.
Oh,
You
no.
do, and it
You
tastes
heathen.
like a mint julep
Mm,
and burns, and you are completely reinvigorated and more alert and courageous than you've ever been.
I try to talk to her.
Can I request
are
a
you?
drink?
No, I fill my flask with it.
Yeah, she will give you a drink and fill your flask,
Cool.
Well, all right, I'm gonna get on
I-
that.
but she
Yes.
cannot speak.
I dump the water out of my water skin and it'll be
I'm gonna get on that.
Does she
You can call it mint julep if you want.
if I show her my armor, does she react to it
No.
or anything? Okay.
What about the image in the sky? Is it still there?
Thanks. That was a nice rest, John.
I leave a
D&D is just sightseeing magic stuff.
I leave a silver coin in her hand after we've filled our flask.
It passes
Don't do-
through and falls on the
Don't
ground.
do that.
All right, I'll pick it back up.
People these days.
You tried to pay the angelic spirit that manifested this liquid that reinvigorates you from the soul
That or
outward.
try and set it on fire.
If I put out the incense, does it go away?
As you were preparing the incense, this all happened.
Yeah.
Like before you were done.
Okay.
We did the whole like Jurassic Park thing, like when he grabs her head and makes her look at the dinosaurs. You're sitting there trying to burn incense, and I'm like, look.
You were preparing all your stuff.
We have a T-Rex.
I asked her if there's any abominations around, if she could point the way.
The form dissipates,
Okay.
and the face in the branches is no longer visible. I mean, it looks like she was planning on doing that anyway. She just wasn't like caring about what you were saying.
I leaned down and I cut a little bit of the mint and put it in my flask,
In the flask?
just to give me a little bit more minty flavor.
Okay.
Nature finds a way.
I'm gonna muddle it.
Nature,
Finds nature.
Are there any other paths leading out of this clearing?
Indeed, there are, John, and I'm glad you asked. There was a path that led to a den of wolves. I rolled randomly to see how many there were because, they can be more or less depending on how many are out hunting. There's only one. Someone crept up to the cave to see what was inside, not knowing it was a den of wolves, although I did say that they smelled the smell of wet dog inside. But they failed their surprise check and out jumped a wolf. There was a brief combat in which Mason got his first blood. So we see it leaping at Tim. However, it's not going to bite his neck out and kill him yet. What do you guys do while it's in the air?
I want to go for it. I want to take the scythe. This is the dog here. This is the neck. Sweeping from under, getting the scythe at the neck.
Roll tie. I got it. Reap. D6.
Not rip, reap. Oh.
You got it. It's stuck on your scythe, its neck, but in the process of extracting it, you're going to cut its throat, and it's going to lie on the ground and bleed out and die.
I am the way your son.
Congratulations. It was the most basic combat you can have. This was simply an instance of stocking your dungeon or your hex crawl with stuff that would be there and that is adventure-y. There was no treasure. It was just a danger on this node. So maybe next time they'll try to avoid it or clear them out next time. We don't know because there are probably more wolves there, you would imagine. I'm happy with how it turned out. I'm happy Mason got his first blood. I'm happy it wasn't just fantasy sightseeing, because that's what it had pretty much been up until now. When they encountered the mint, they immediately decided to rest there. And that's because in our previous campaign in Alabama, they had been conditioned to think that mint means safety. You can rest there, get HP back, there's not random encounters, that kind of thing. Is that true for here? Well, who can say? This is what I was talking about in the intro, where reusing thematic elements can have interesting effects between campaigns. So their experience of mint so far in CCQ has been positive. Who knows if it will always be so, but I like that there's some added valence when they see something in the campaign that they haven't seen before. Something may throw them for a loop when they see something familiar from a different campaign, or maybe it's like a callback that you see in video game franchises, like a Chocobo. I enjoy this sort of thing. And so I was thinking also, like, maybe I shouldn't include mint as something significant because I used it before. But this interaction that you see here, I think, proves that fear to be unfounded. Go ahead and reuse thematic elements. Don't make them one for one, necessarily, but put them back in there. Your players won't mind, I don't think, and it'll be fun for you too. Soon after this, I thought they might actually get lost in the path crawl, which would have been a ton of fun. Not from mechanically losing their way, but just from hitting so many different nodes, most of which were empty, and perhaps not mapping entirely accurately. But in fact, they did not get lost, and they found an interesting location. It was a raised mound, like in Moundville, Alabama, that was a battlefield. They found rusted swords and helmets all over, and they found something else. And in fact, you notice it's a tent. What do? You're about as far away as from me to that curtain over there.
And we find a tent pitched up there.
Yeah, but you're looking at like the back of it, and it's like shielded from the elements.
I go around to the front of it.
I immediately take like the radius and I make a flank from the perimeter of the circle.
Gotcha. So you got you.
I'm straight up just walking to the front of it.
Okay. And when you begin to approach the tent, you can see that it is indeed a tent. It's new. There's a fire pit around the front side. You can tell the fire has been lit recently. And you can smell waist not too far away, and you can hear something stirring inside the tent. This is a fairly large tent. Probably it spans side to side of this room.
Okay, I call out.
What do you say?
Excuse me. I don't mean to startle, but we are travelers and we are searching for some things.
We have nothing.
Oh, we don't mean you any harm. We're not looting.
Oh, we're only poor travelers on pilgrimage across this land. We have no
As
thing
I'm
of
talking,
value.
I just peel the inch of the curtain back with my spear. Look inside.
It's 4 elves.
4 elves.
And some, I assume, are good people.
I go in and I take
Rare.
one of the swigs from my magic potion and I pour it in the 4 separate cups. I ask them if they have some.
Please leave us. Please leave us.
Fine.
You've put us in a terrible situation now.
You guys want me to light your fire out front?
Please leave us.
What you got me?
Do not tell anyone you've seen us.
What do you know of this? And I draw the symbol with the 3 moons and the spokes in the middle of the middle moon.
There's 1 woman and 3 men.
It's like a brother-husband's thing.
Easy.
You sick freak!
One of the men in the back begins to... You think he's trying to draw a knife.
Who do you think you're bullying? You bumped into me. It was your mistake. You were at fault. Do you want this to become violent?
Friend, I like you.
But he's just in the back of the tent, just crouched down.
Let him be.
Please don't make this violent.
You must leave. No one can know we're here.
We're not going to talk about this, but only if you answer the questions I have for you. If you're going to be mysterious and not answer any of my questions and assure me that you're here to not cause any harm, then I'm definitely going to be talking about it here.
You do not wish to do this.
What do you know about this symbol? And I point down to the symbol that we had on the knight's armor on the island.
We will answer no questions, but we will also not harm you. Simply leave us be in peace.
We want to know about the Blue Lady
I start backing out.
and her tower.
We know nothing about what you speak.
Do they have any emblems on their armor or on their
They don't have
clothing?
any armor. They are dressed completely on, like, low-key, just black robes like anyone around here would wear, with hoods, so they can obviously hide their face, because they have blue skin. They're not half-elves. The half-elves would be kind of like
They're
splotchy
full-blown
silver.
elves?
Yeah, half-elves would be splotchy, silvery kind of skin.
That's super rare in this area.
Yeah, and you understand why they would not want to be seen or their presence known about, because they'd very likely be ended up on somebody's wall.
I do want to ask them, did you guys have anything to do with the graffiti on the statue on the island? One question and we'll leave.
That's your question?
That's my question.
We do. I'm sorry, we don't have any idea what you're speaking. What?
Cool, I wasted my question. Bye.
All right, so are y'all just gonna leave?
There is someone who hunts your kind in this area.
One.
Huh?
One.
No. He has a lot of.
No, as in someone. Like, that's an understatement.
Everybody
There is
does.
someone who actively hunts your kind in this very localized area you are in right now.
Yes, we know.
Everyone would be
Okay.
hostile to that, I think.
Yes, my family is simply trying to live in peace as we make our way across the land. We're exiles. We do not wish any harm to humankind.
Okay.
We simply wish to be left alone.
Well, then don't head. I guess I don't know which.
Really don't take any of the paths.
Which cardinal direction would be back towards the Baron's place?
Southwest.
You
Yep.
can't tell the cardinal direction right now, I don't think.
Don't go
Does
south.
anyone
Yeah,
have-
it's
does
like-
anyone
I mean, they
have-
would know.
It's like 12
They would know
where
what's
stuff
there.
is.
How
I
would they
mean,
know if they're traveling across?
if they see a big village, I mean, if they're literally, I mean, I imagine if you're traveling, you
They
can
would
kinda-
avoid any big villages and settlements.
I doubt there's any cardinals.
You can
in
look
this
out from the
little
edge of
city.
woods and see roads and
Yeah.
big walls, so they would know where the biggest.
There's a river
village
not
is.
far from here. It feeds the lake.
Oh,
Avoid
listen,
that lake.
Thank you for your advice.
And then I guess I leave.
Can I walk up to the tent?
Actually, before I leave, I say, one more question. What do you know about this? And I draw a deer head with 29 points.
27.
27.
Some local human deity, maybe? I don't.
Okay.
We're not from here.
Alright.
You're not from around here, are you?
Can I walk up to the tent and I immediately say, like, I've dropped my weapons behind me, and I say, I'm a barren widow, and I need help. I need you guys to tell me something.
What is this?
I need to know from where you have come and where are you going.
As I said, we're exiles from the lands far to the north of here, and we cannot live among our kind anymore. So we're seeking a place we can live in peace.
Well, I've heard there's a pretty good tower by the lake. I pick up my stuff and I step away slowly.
As you all, yes.
How old did they look? Like, is it just three? The three you said 3 men and a woman.
Would we be
Yeah.
able to tell?
But would it be
They
like
just
one
look like
man
adults.
and 2 younger?
No, they
adults?
just look like adults.
Okay.
I mean, they are not young nor old.
Okay.
Probably a husband and wife and 2 boys.
As you're leaving, John, you notice something a little strange out of the corner of your eye. It's
Christmas.
religious vestments folded up.
It's Christmas.
Moon motif.
No, like your religion.
What did they go
I'll
against?
stop and say, what are these?
Oh, you don't have to excuse us. We simply found them discarded in the forest.
No, I go to John. It's like they're exiles. They're exiles from their country, and they have religious items.
You were exiled because you're a believer in Our Lady, the Spider Queen, aren't you?
I must admit that that's true.
You know,
It's the legs, isn't it? There's so many. It's great.
and I show them some of my vestments and my scriptures and show them I'm a cleric of Our Lady.
They bow their heads.
And then I tell them that I am not of the sect that believes that elves are complete abominations and should be destroyed, and that I respect them, and if there's anything I can do to help them.
Simply forget that we were ever here. We will be moving on from here.
Do you see there's a sect that believes where the Crepuscular Queen and the Lady...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty similar. Like the Crepuscular Queen, the imagery of the elves that we have in this world have like multiple arms. I don't know about legs.
Now these elves, like you understand as a proper
What's the
elf,
difference?
does not have. They just have 2 arms, just normal human body form.
Right, but the
weak.
point being
The queen has is reputed to have 4 arms.
I give them my copy of the scriptures, and I guess do I see any evidence of them having scrolls or anything like that?
No.
I give them my copy of the scripture.
Thank you. We will treasure this.
Okay.
Oh, go.
I guess we leave then.
Thank you. Blessings to you.
I say
That's what they say.
some benediction.
And
from
John,
scripture.
that is not what people say, but
Can I?
but
give
I
him-
mean they're elves, and maybe they don't know the right
Can
words.
I give him one of my rations?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Thank you, sir.
I want to tell them that I want to do the traditional dance in the way of.
I grab him.
Do you really say that?
Both John and I grab him.
Baby, what is you doing?
John and I immediately grab him.
We both grab his by the arm and start hauling.
John and I are viciously grabbing him. tearing him.
No, let me do this.
Oh, dang, your back hurt. Go ahead, swiggle it out, Daniel, son. Swiggle, baby. Swiggle, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Yeah, baby.
No.
No, I want to do it.
Okay, so you guys are leaving?
Yes, we're rolling against him.
Alright, so do you want to keep going the way, like, past the tent, like, as if you just ignored it, and keep going to the other side of the
I actually think we want to go back down because I don't think this is the way towards goblins. I think we would have seen another skull on a stick by now.
John,
too.
you said you didn't care about the scent. Do you think it means nothing?
It might mean something. Let's go back. Let's go back towards the river.
This is probably a good place to end it. It's 12:06.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh,
Guys, it's
I
been
want to
fun.
say so many things. I can't say
Why didn't you let me dance?
Was it embarrassing?
No.
It would have been so
It's
good if
just-
you let me dance.
Maybe?
It would have been great. No. Because the thing is, they would have danced because they had no idea what they were doing.
Maybe they had ideas.
They had no idea.
I'm just saying that all I said was that their benediction struck you as a little weird. Like maybe they were from some fundamentalist independent Baptist church, and you said "Peace be with you," and they were like,
Yeah, and also with you.
They were like,
Yeah.
"Yeah."
And yeah, that sounds
Or,
good.
God bless. Or,
Because and also with you is actually
have a blessed day.
Yeah. God bless. Peace be with you. God bless you.
Yeah, same thing. Yep.
Yeah, they probably haven't dealt with the formalities.
It's the same religion, but it's
Or they were lying and they're not at all, and they killed somebody and took their robe.
and they're wearing robes and they have more than 2 arms. They're the Spider Queen together. It's a collective.
All right, but
There are 4 of them.
There are 4 of
Spiders
them.
have 8 arms.
Hold
They
on.
have okay.
Human centipede. Hold on.
It's actually just kids inside of a costume.
It's
like my-
Love each other.
8 kids.
my final
with
final
1
act,
arm.
my final act and character is to discuss with Canis his observance Canis of their body language and their demeanor. If it was
Okay. Have to accept some uncertainty because they're elves, not humans. But that's a really good idea, bounty hunter.
Oh dang it! Why didn't I do this?
I mean,
Should've
they're
asked why they
bipedal.
look. Why are you guys so blue?
I can't believe you've done this.
Can we retcon that?
You are very certain that they were lying.
okay.
About everything.
Yeah, you don't believe anything they said.
We should watch them.
The dance. Why did you not?
You
let
only
me
got to do
dance?
that because you're a bounty hunter.
Fair.
Everybody else would just have to play off of what they read from me.
Yeah.
That's one of your
I was
benefits.
observing.